Hello and welcome to the Cat Collective. I'm Nina, I'm the channel for this channel, and let's start. Oh. Deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held. Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? It's kinda, first retreat, rest, be held, and then how are you being called to step up to lead? It feels like there are. This doesn't really feel that it's the same energy, is it? And releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Okay, so because when you retreat, you are not particularly leading, but maybe you are by being an example of a life that is replenishing, right? And that's the leadership in this life, because often often leadership is being associated with a lot of hard work, right? A lot of it's just hard work. The grind. Leadership means a lot of responsibility, which also leads to workload of some sorts, but unbound and with the free energies in this card. It feels to me that this pattern wants to be released. The pattern of a life that needs to be stressful and a life that needs to be hard work. Right? It could be that you are maybe revolutionizing the workforce, because these days there are a lot of jobs already that have been replaced by machines. And also globally, if you see that a lot of workplaces that used to be in the Western world are being forwarded to other countries, just because there's a lot of toxicity in the workplace, in work in general. It's wherever the money is, and a lot of jobs are being relocated to different countries because they don't need too much, they cost less, right? The minimum wage in other countries is just so much less, and it's still a human being, but it just costs less, right? And I feel that you are being a leader of the acceptance of that we have reached a state where we have automated so many processes that we need to have different values than money, just money related. It's more about a collective well-being, right? It's not anymore about, it's not about just getting by or, earning a living in a way. It's about creating a world and a workforce and globally that is more in alignment with this planet, and not just with humans, but also with nature, because that's the difference we were not supposed to make in the first place. We were never supposed to differentiate ourselves and distance ourselves from nature, because we are nature. And if you really look with open eyes into our society, and especially I would say the Western world, which is strange, but you see there's a lot of illness, and it's because we have created a life that is not sustainable in the long run. And I feel that you are a significant part of the change of this. You have the power to change something by being a leader. It feels to me that it's, the general expectation of work being of some, of a life being in general. It's the necessity of having to earn everything, whereas just the allowance of being, right? And also, which feels surreal. It feels surreal if you really come from a workforce environment, working class environment. It feels surreal to just think about being allowed to be yourself and being allowed to be creative, being allowed to be not stressed, and being allowed to maybe not work 5 days a week, right? Or even more, or, I don't know how many hours, 50, 70, 80 hours, and being allowed to even work less, but for the same value, for the value of being able to sustain yourself. And globally, being so considerate of everybody around, because we are all living in one system. It's the same with, for example, throwing away trash. You can throw it away. You can just, I don't know, take piece of I don't know what and throw it away. But it is not gone. It's still on the same planet. It may not be in your personal bubble and in your awareness, but it's still around. And what I've noticed, I live in Belfast at the minute, right? And Belfast is so dirty. It's so polluted. I was in disbelief when I was here, when I first moved here. I cleaned up my front yard, right? Because it was worn out and it was just not nice, and there was a lot of trash, right? And I spent quite a time doing this, right? And then the next day, my front yard was dirty again, and I was angry at my neighbors. I thought they did throw some trash into my front yard, when in fact it was just windy. It was just windy. Because it's so dirty here that when it's windy, you just see the trash flowing around, right? In the air. You actually have to watch out for plastic bags not hitting your face when it's so windy. Because it's so dirty. And I'm laughing because it is ridiculous. But maybe your sense of, and it feels to me environmentally and just holistic. Right? So it could be that you are having an idea regarding trash in general, or something, but it feels to me more like this. It feels to me also globally, because if we think about some certain work things that are being exported to different countries, there the pollution is, right? Because they, so from what, for example, the textile, like a clothing industry, right? We are wearing it, right? The fast fashion, blah, blah, all the drill, right? And with this, I just, notice now the clothing and all, right? But, the fast fashion is also being created somewhere, right? And to a price, which price we are paying for this. The rivers, they are polluted with chemically loaded waters that are just being put there, but we don't see it. We live in a very nice world. We are sipping our cup of tea from a nice mug, right? And we don't care, right? Because we are sitting here and our environment is somewhat clean, where in fact it's not, because we just have, if you want to see it as a globe, let's take this one, right? That's our globe, right? We just put the problem somewhere else, but it's still somewhere, right? So we just, here the world looks like this, and there, well, here it is. Right here's the dirt pot. But it's okay, we are just living here, so we don't get it, right? We don't care, but there's the darkness. So I don't know, I just, the ridiculousness of what we have created at the minute. I think everybody silently, which is strange, but silently, everybody agrees to this. Everybody suffers in the system that we are living in, but no one steps up and does something. It's almost as if there is this darkness also of admitting that this is not working. The system we are living in is not working. We are overworking ourselves. We are living in fake environments. It doesn't matter which way you're on. It just doesn't feel holistic and true. And your role is to create something holistic and true and something revolutionary. So, how are you doing this? I don't know. Feels like magic to me. It feels to me that you are coming up with a concept maybe, or with just something that where everybody can win. The whole planet can win. And we are all one, right? So it's not about just, again, the poor are working so the rich are getting richer. No, it's about sharing everything, because the rich people, if you really look at rich people, are they really, are they really happy where they are if they're really rich? No, they're excluded as well. And I think they are also looking for some sort of connection, and not just, it all depends, of course, right? But I feel that all of us, we are all feeling a disconnect, and that's because we are all globally not working towards one goal, and this is for a life that would make it better for everybody. And maybe you are in a better position. Maybe you have some power. Maybe you have something, just something more. Yeah, maybe you are. Yeah, maybe you are someone who has more money even. Could be, but it feels to me that you are creating something that is that has not been in somebody else's, or it's like you are creating something that everybody silently agrees with, but no one speaks about it. Everybody knows that the system we are in is just not working. It's not functional. No one is striving. We're all getting sicker. It's the food industry as well. It's the whole world is a symbol of sickness. And there are areas in the world which are starving, and other areas which are living more to a truth that is more aligned with nature, but we are demonizing it. It's like how a lot of people look at, certain parts of Africa, and are like, oh, look at them, they are like, I don't know, a little bit, just looking down on them, when they have got the truth. They have got the truth of living in alignment, those tribes that you see, right? They have got a really fundamental truth of the alignment that we need to support this planet, right? And we want to create this planet in a different way, in a modern way, but also in a modern supportive way, and not in this way where we turn the globe around and there's the dark spot. We want to create a holistic planet that is full of vibrancy and health, and health includes happiness. Health includes nourishment, and also variety in character. Every human being has got a very specific character that they need to live that. They need to have the opportunity to be like that, to live their authentic selves. And if they don't have the opportunity, they get sick, right? Of course. Everybody gets sick, and we all are sick because we are all forced to live in a system that we are silently all disagreeing with, but we are all feeding it because no one is stepping up, and we need leadership. We need someone to make an example of what can be done, and not just in a small way. Of course, within your own power, but it feels to me that you have some resources or something that would, that already makes a difference, and it spreads out. It's an example, and then more examples follow, right? It's just about seeing what is wrong and then really noticing it, and not brushing it under the rug, because that's literally what we are doing. All of us. We are all suffering in this system where we have to give up ourselves to go somewhere, right? And then we are just not us. But when everybody can be themselves and is not judging someone for, for laziness or something like that. It's about a cohesive workforce that works together to funnel the planet into a better life, right? And it's also, and just 3 cards. I mean, that's amazing, right? But yeah, it feels to me that there's so much that you seem to be a force in, a priestess, and it's not, it's about holistic things. And there's the ocean card. There are a lot of water cards, right? It's about the knowledge that we all consist of water. So, and the food that we are eating should do that too. And it shouldn't make us sick, because food is our medicine. And it's not just about food, it's about the whole system. If it was easier to be healthy, everybody would do it. But at the minute, it's more easy to deny life and to just, it's more convenient, and also because everybody is tired. Yeah. I'm getting very silent because the currents are not in alignment with what we could be. And most of all, we need to go and see that we are one with nature. We are one planet. And we shouldn't work against each other at all. So let's see. Perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out. Common ground. Wow. Yeah, and breath of the cosmos. My will to thy will. Micromanaging the universe. Yeah, okay. Again, this is just a confirmation of seeing, of course, who we are. This is our planet. It's tiny, isn't it? Of course, there is so much more going on. It gets so much bigger, and we are still the tiny planet. But it feels to me that maybe you are a bit discouraged because you think your tiny little bit, what you can bring to the table, doesn't affect the planet, or doesn't it? But it does. Because none of this matters, just sticks out. It's like, oh, whatever, It feels to me that you are maybe discouraged because you think, well, it doesn't really matter. It's just you, right? It's just why. Yeah, it's just... But it's not. Actually. It's about realizing that your part of this is to step up and see and admit to what everybody is disagreeing with silently, but everybody is just living the lie. It's very fake. It's very fake, and you know it. You know it. You know it from the core. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows that this world we are living in is fake. And it means my will to thy will. It means that we all really, when we are all honest with ourselves, we all just want the same. We all just want to get by. We don't want to be stressed. We want to live our dreams. We want to have the opportunity to, and we want to, ideally, and that's the false thing that has been sold to us, we want to do it without harming anybody else. And what we are doing, most of us are doing, the people who are at a better status is that they are harming the people who have less status. And it doesn't have to be like that. Because the people who have more status, they are missing out on connection as well. Because they don't get honest connections. It's more those connections which are fake because they are just conforming, or just You know, it's like with a rich, like with a king, right? King that is just has just not a good character, and everybody is just doing what the king does because the king has status. But the king, if you really look at the king really, really also just wants to be himself and be loved who the king is, right? It's a very fake world, and we are living in it, and we are all suffering in it, and we all want to change it. And we know, we feel it in our core, the truth, right? This is the truth. She's just thinking about the truth, and the truth spirals out, and it's this what the universe always had to be, right? And I think the false belief that when you have it good, you have to protect what you have. And when you have it good, you need to make use of it and share it, and just make a difference that makes a difference for everybody. Because when everybody is happy, then we can collectively rise to a whole different dimension. And it starts with micromanaging with yourself, but also the realization that it is so much more harder to heal yourself and to become healthy in an unhealthy environment, right? When you have no access to healthy food or variety in food, if you really just look into our grocery stores, the healthy food that is available, it's so limited. There are so many different species of just tomatoes, and we only have access to, I don't know, 2 or 3. And there's so much more variety, and just takes, just this alone is an example of what we can achieve when we are agreeing to the truth and not denying anything anymore. And it feels right to the core when we know where we are going. And it feels to me just the fact that I felt drawn to talk about this. I didn't even pull too many cards, right? It feels to me that you are just someone who is being called to step up and lead in this regard. And with something that doesn't seem to be fitting together, retreat, rest, in that you are somehow an important part of generating a life that is better for everybody, but being an example of what is possible in a good way, in a holistic way, in a way that, steps back and looks at everything that would make it more healthy and more beautiful. And the lie we are living in is that we have to sacrifice, that we have to work hard, that we have to suffer. We don't. When we all agree that we all disagree with what is the current, then we can create something new that is beneficial for everybody and healing, right? We don't need to exploit. We don't. I feel that this message is whole. So let's see who the message is for. It just seems to me that you are important in doing this. Sag. Oh, okay. Bottom of the deck is Capricorn, okay. Yeah. So, yeah. Additional info is in the letter box below, and see you next time. Bye, 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 bye.